Now to the broader political debate. Yesterday on Sunday Agenda, we saw concessions made by the Workplace Minister Tony Burke. In your interview with him, he was forthcoming on a few different fronts, apparently more amendments coming this afternoon. So they are making changes where they think they can.
But not enough to get it through at the moment, Kieran. So the industrial relations debate rolls on in this place, with crossbenchers pushing for the government to split the industrial relations bill to get at least some measures to lift wages through this year. Senator Jackie Lambie was calling for the bill to be split today.
You know, a lot of the bill looks really good. We know where the difficulties are, so if he wants to win before Christmas time, I'd suggest that he split the bill.
Now, it seems the independent David Pocock, who, together with Jackie Lambie and the Greens, I guess, have the balance of power, is on the same page as Lambie. These crossbenchers think it is better to split it and get some measures passed and have a longer consultation process on the more controversial measures in the legislation into next year. But the government is quite resistant to this. It wants it all through at once. This is what Tony Burke was arguing on Sunday Agenda yesterday. Why do you have to get this through this year? We know David Pocock, who you rely upon in the Senate, wants a longer committee process. What's the rush on this?
Well, the rush is what's being felt around every kitchen table in the country. The rush is where people are seeing, they know there's areas where we can act on prices, and we've acted on prices with cheaper medicines, we've acted on prices with what we're doing with childcare. They're seeing those shifts happen now, but they also need their wages to move.
Isn't it? So the argument from the crossbenchers is you could get some multi-employer enterprise bargaining measures through this year. Those less controversial ones related to lower paid workers in areas like early childhood education, aged care and cleaning, because there are three types of groups of employers and employees covered by these proposals, as you can see here. The more controversial one is single interest multi-enterprise bargaining, where employers can be compelled to bargain, and it creates a mechanism to add other employers who have more than 15 staff into an existing multi-enterprise agreement. The minister yesterday confirmed employers could be forced into multi-employer bargaining.
Well, that's exactly the same as what can happen now on single employer agreements. Like at the moment, you've got a situation, it's pretty rare, can I say? It's pretty rare that if the employer doesn't want to, that you get a vote up of the workforce, but that's already the case on single employer agreements. You wanted to have a situation where you could do it on a single, but you couldn't do that on a multi.
So as Kieran just mentioned, Tony Burke yesterday flagged concessions he was willing to make already, including a 6-month grace period before employers would have to enter multi-employer bargains, and that all of the employees of each workplace would have to vote to enter an agreement before it went ahead.
It'll be changed so that to be part of an agreement where you're getting a majority of the staff, it's employer by employer where that's counted. Similarly for industrial action, similarly to agree to an agreement. If you've got a situation where the workforce doesn't want to be part of it and the employer doesn't want to be part of it, the concept here is it's often the case, even when there's good faith bargaining happening, that you don't get the next agreement up the moment the old one's expired. So to have a period where you can continue to negotiate is something where we are getting close on that. It's 6 months rather than 12. And the reality is single employer agreements will remain the main way that negotiations happen.
So the crossbench argument at the moment is that there are clearly flaws in the legislation, with the government moving to fix it. Why not spend a bit more time on the more contentious aspects?